Hey there, welcome back to Recap and Summaries. Today, we're diving into the 2022 thriller movie known as Deep Water. But before we jump into the details, make sure to show us some love by liking the video, leaving a comment, and, of course, subscribing to the channel if you're into the commentary. Now, let's get right into it. At the beginning of the movie we see a man named Vic who is coming home from the mountains on his bicycle. When he came home, his wife Melinda was watching him on the stairs. Vic asks Melinda what happened. Melinda said nothing. The story then goes into flashback. Here we see that Vic and Melinda have a little girl. Today they were going to a party, so Vic was bringing a babysitter to stay with his daughter. On the other hand, Melinda did not understand whether she would fall into the party. Vic hands his wife Melinda the shoes. Seeing this, Melinda says, "I love you so much." Vic said nothing in response. The two then attend a party, where Melinda flirts with a boy named Jewel. Then Melinda starts kissing Jewel, and Vic watches all of this through the window. Then a girl comes to Vic and the girl tells Vic that your wife is having an affair with another boy. Hearing this, Vic says this is his life, he don't want to interfere in his life. After a while, when Jewel was alone, Vic came up to him and talked with him. He said, "There was a man named Marty in this town who is very close to my wife. But 2 months ago he disappeared from this city." Hearing this, Jewel says, "Are you threatening me? I don't believe you." Vic replies, "If you don't believe me, then don't believe me." But after hearing this, Jewel got very scared and left the party. But when Melinda sees him go, Jewel is so scared that she doesn't even listen to Melinda. As Melinda and Vic go home, Melinda asks him, "What did you say to Jewel?" Vic said nothing in response. When she got home, Melinda undressed in front of the babysitter. Vic forbade her to do this, but Melinda was from a country where these sexual activities were common. So she didn't like hiding here at all. Vic tells Melinda that if you're not going to have a relationship, you should do it with a smart guy. Melinda says that you like smart girls more. In fact, Melinda thought she was not smart. The next day when Vic goes to drop his daughter off at school, he sees one of her friends. That girl says to Vic that you did the murder and didn't even call me. In fact, the word that Vic said to Jewel the night before was spread throughout the town. Vic laughs at this, and says, "I was only joking." Later, when Vic came home, Melinda also found out about this. And so she gets very angry with Vic. Melinda says, "Jewel is my friend and so I miss him a lot. You have to apologize to him for that." Vic then invites Jewel to dinner in the evening and gives Jewel a drink. Vic's daughter was also here. She said, "Why is mother talking to that man so well?" Actually, his daughter doesn't like Jewel either. Later, when everyone was having dinner together, Jewel did not eat Vic's food. So Vic makes a new meal and Melinda eats it with Jewel. After dinner, Vic goes to his daughter's room and tells her a story. After telling the story, Vic comes downstairs to find Jewel and Melinda enjoying together. Then we see Jewel saying to Vic, "Won't you apologize to me?" "Why should I apologize? I really hammered Martin." Vic then tells Jewel, "Your taxi has arrived." Then Jewel says, "I didn't call a taxi." Vic says, "I called." Hearing this, Jewel got more scared and ran away from there. The next day we see Vic and Melinda at another party. There she met Vic's friend Leonore, who was a fog writer. She asks Vic, "What are you doing now?" Then Vic says, "I make chips for drones used by the military." Leonore says, "Your chip only takes human lives." Then Vic says nothing like that, "We can use this chip for many purposes, even for food delivery." Then while everyone else was dancing, Vic started dancing with Leonore's wife. Vic was only doing this to make Melinda feel jealous. In fact, Vic never used to dance at any party and even his friends were surprised to see him dancing today. While coming home, Melinda asks Vic if he likes that girl. In fact, Melinda became very jealous of that girl. That's why she tells Vic, "If you cheat with me, I will kill you." The next morning as they go to watch their daughter play, Vic gets a call. And in the call it is said that Melinda has requested to cash $3,000. While searching for the check whose name was Vic, he found out that the boy's name was Ricky. Melinda's affair with Ricky started because Melinda came home every night. Then the next day, Vic goes to see Ricky with his friend and there Vic tells Ricky and Melinda's affair. Vic then starts thinking about Melinda and Ricky, which makes him more anxious. One night when Melinda doesn't come home, Vic feels very bad. The next morning Vic asks Melinda, "Why you gave Ricky $3,000? Melinda does not answer him. Then he asks her, "Where were you last night?" Melinda replies, "I was with Ricky and we enjoyed the night together." Then Vic says, "We have a daughter." Melinda says it was your choice and she leaves. A few days pass like this. Then we see one day everyone is enjoying a party. Ricky was there too. Melinda asks him to play the piano. Vic was feeling very bad seeing all this when Melinda came to him and tried to make him feel better. She then introduces Vic to Ricky. The next night Vic was trying to find Melinda but he was nowhere to be found. After some time he saw them enjoying themselves in a room. After seeing this Vic came out and sat down by a swimming pool. Just then Ricky and Melinda also come there. Melinda was going to do something there but she stopped seeing Vic there. Suddenly it started raining there so everyone got up and came to the room. Vic and Ricky were alone there with Leonor watching them from above. After a while Vic came in and started talking to everyone. Melinda was nowhere to find Ricky there. When she looks out the window, she sees Ricky's body floating in the swimming pool. Everyone then runs outside and lifts Ricky's body up. Everyone tried to save him but despite many efforts, Ricky could not be saved. After a while the police came there and asked everyone who was with Ricky last time. Then Melinda gets angry and says Vic killed her. Then the police called Vic and said, "Do you know anything about the relationship between your wife and Ricky?" Vic says, "I know but it doesn't matter to me." Then the police directly asked him, "Did you murder Ricky?" To which Vic says no. On the other hand, Melinda was crying a lot when she got home because she was confirmed that Vic had killed Ricky. After coming home Vic asks Melinda, "Do you want a divorce?" Melinda says no in response. Then Vic says, "You know I killed Ricky." Melinda says, "You killed him for me, it means you love me a lot." The next day Vic is cycling when he notices a car following him. He then meets Jackie when he goes to pick up his daughter from school. "My husband and your wife went to the swimming pool to meet each other. And everyone suspects that you have committed murder." Vic replies that tomorrow you will come to my house with your husband and I will talk about this. Then the next day, Jackie and Leonor come to Vic's house for dinner. There Vic tells Leonor, "Please don't tell anyone I murdered Ricky." Leonor replies that, "I also heard you killed your wife's previous boyfriend?" Hearing this, Vic does not give him any answer. The next day, while walking down the street, Vic again notices the car that followed him first. When Vic then goes to find the owner of the car, he sees Melinda sitting with a man. Vic then sat down directly to Melinda and asked her who this man was. Melinda then introduces him as her friend. After that they both talked there for a while and were leaving there, and before leaving he looked for the card from the man but the man did not have any card. Vic then realizes that the man is a detective and that Leonor has him behind his back. A few days later, Vic sees Melinda with a boy named Nick who is very rich. Vic follows the two of them wherever they go. One night, Melinda was talking to Nick and Vic was eavesdropping on them. And from their words, he can know that Melinda and Nick are planning to go to Brazil together. Melinda will take her daughter with her, and stay there for the rest of her life. Then one day, Melinda invites Nick to her house for lunch, where after talking for a while, Melinda takes Nick upstairs. And in front of Vic, they became very close. A few days later, Vic meets Nick and says that Melinda has been trying so hard to call you. And we both want to show you an instructional site. Then Nick gets into Vic's car. On the street, Vic asks, "Why did you break up with Melinda?" "I don't remember anything," Nick replied. Vic then starts speeding, which scares Nick so he tries to call Melinda. But they were in the middle of the jungle so there was no phone network. Then Vic comes to a place and stops the car and says that he and Melinda come here often. He then picks up a rock and hits it on Nick and throws him off the cliff, killing Nick. There was a storm nearby that drowned Nick. Vic takes all the stuff out of his pocket so that no one will recognize him. Vic then comes home and cheers with his daughter for the joy of killing Nick. Then Melinda comes there and says, "Tomorrow we will go on picnic together." Then the next day when they go on a picnic, Vic sees his daughter walking near the fountain where he killed Nick yesterday. Vic interrupted his daughter and that's when Vic's eyes fell on Nick's body floating in the water. Now somehow Vic wanted to remove the body so he came back to that place. On the other hand, when Melinda is looking for Vic, she finds Nick's wallet among Vic's belongings, which makes her realize that he killed Nick as well. Melinda is very upset at this, and she starts packing her things. On the other hand, Vic was trying to drown Nick's body with a stick and Leona saw him doing so. And seeing Neil's body, he runs away in fear. Then Vic takes a shortcut to stop Leona and comes in front of his car. While trying to save Vic, Leona loses the balance of his car and falls straight into a ditch. Then Vic comes to his house with his bicycle and from here the story of this movie starts. Here we see Melinda burn Vic's wallet to save him. Actually Melinda wanted him to love her a lot. And she loves it when she finds out Vic has been hitting on all her boyfriends. Melinda thinks Vic will kill anyone for her, so Melinda decides to spend the rest of her life with him. And the movie ends with this story.